are ghetto sometimes, okay?
They are. They truly
And one thing that I was like, I saw this on social media or something, but they were talking about how, like, in a friendship, people are so quick to be like, oh no, I'm done with that friendship. But in relationships, people stay. So how do y'all feel about having grace towards your friendships, and like, what do you take your friend back after cheating? Because y'all took that boy back after he cheated.
So what's considered cheating in a friendship?
No, well, like, it can honestly be a level of anything. Because I'm like, in a regular relationship, boyfriend and girlfriend, your person does stuff you don't like all the time. Like, and you accept it, you accept their flaws. So do you just accept your friend's flaws? Are you like, oh, that's just how she is? Or how do y'all navigate that?
I think the one main difference that we gotta point out is that with a significant other, you have to live in the same bed every day with that person. With a friend, you can see them once or twice a week.
But what I'm saying, the point I'm making is people have more grace on the
but I think that's why though. Because you have more of a commitment. Right, you have more of a commitment to a significant other.
But that's a choice to see them every day.
Yeah.
So you would think it would be I didn't say marriage. Marriage is different. Marriage, you knew that person was how they were when you married.
My brain is dating.
But it's just like, if my friend pisses me off today, am I about to go a month with talking to them when this man just pissed me off at 8 a.m. and we was talking about 10 a.m. So like, how do y'all feel about that? Do y'all feel like y'all do that or you don't do that? Is your standards higher for your friends? Because that's kind of what that shows, that you have you're holding your friends to a higher standard than your significant other.
It's so backwards to me.
Yeah.
Like, friendship requires so much forgiveness because you're doing life together. Like, you're watching them live totally separate lives, but it still intertwines and corresponds with your life. Your significant other, you all already automatically, it's your significant other, y'all have a life together. So that's one entity. But I think friendships are a lot more complex, which is why that's even an issue. Plus, girls can be very mean. Girls can have the biggest egos. Girls can be very envious. So it's like they be waiting for that one thing to be like, I ain't want to be your friend no more anyway. Oh, I'm cutting her off. She's wild. She's this. Because they want your character to start to, they want other people to start to look at you crazy. Now, that's why people start to try to band up together. Like, you notice in a demise in a friend group, everybody wants to grab as many chess pieces as they can. And I'm like, that's not, we was all just.
Right.
So I feel like a lot of women also, they don't know how to, don't value themselves enough, period, when they're in their relationships with their significant others. But when you're looking at your friend, it's like you're looking at a mirror. With the man, you can always look at, the potential. You can make all these excuses and these fairy tales. But with your friend, it's so real. Like, I don't really know how to put it into words, but it's like your friend is speaking across. Your man is speaking like you always have. Also, it could be how you said date to marry. You always have like, well, I need to stay with him because we got to get to this point. Like, you have an end goal with the man. With your friends, it's just something that just keeps going. Like, you don't never really have it. You don't marry
or you don't think about
it.
Exactly.
You're not waiting for something to happen, like for that relationship to take its next level. Like,
it can be scary.
It's on its level.
It can be scary without having something to look forward to. Like, I remember I went through a phase where I'm like, break up with him before he break up with you. Like, with your friends, that might be the mentality that some women are adapting. Like, okay, she did this. I now know what she's capable of. I'm going to cut her off before she cut me off. Or I'm going to cut her off before it gets ugly or whatever the case is. With a man, you want to, I take you back.
Yeah,
that's great. That's a good point.
I also feel like it's not a matter of some people have higher standards for their friendships. I think it's more so people have way too high expectations for their friends. Like, you can expect your friends to think the same way you do, act the same way you do, react the same way you do, talk the same way you do the same things you do. When you have a friend that you can go to get different perspectives and different opinions and just have a conversation with. Like, you're not going to find that person that's just going to be exactly like you. Like, you can't have those high expectations because you're going to get let down every single time. Every time.
Yeah, and I feel like people don't value that friends have other lives. Like, I feel like when people don't respect that their friends have stuff going on. Like, I feel like there are some friends who feel like your life should revolve around their life. Absolutely. And that causes a problem. And I think for me, I'm very good at I guess it's compartmentalizing. Like, that's just how she is. Like, I can be like, that's how she is. That's what I expect from her. That doesn't change the way I feel about her because that's just how she is. And I just be like.
But at what point
it's not
do you
even
like
peace
hold
out.
them accountable?
I think that. I don't know.
Hold them accountable on what side?
Right, I was gonna say, like, what's the situation?
Like, if you know it's something that your friend probably need to grow out of, but you know, like, at this point, that's just how she is, but you like, all right, but realistically,
You can't be like this,
exactly, like,
but
when
if
you want to grow out of
about
that?
it already, and they didn't take, if you didn't take what I said already the first time, I can't fault you for that, because that's your personal choice. Mm-hmm. So at that point, I'm not going to keep telling you the same thing. I'm not your mother. I'm your friend. And as a friend, it's my responsibility to check you and to give you my opinion and feedback and advice, especially if you ask for it. But if you don't take it, that's on you.
And I'm not going to wait around for you to fix it and take it.
Okay. That's very true. Well, why don't we do that with the dudes? Cause the dudes,
Right?
they be like that times a million. They take it there.
It's pretty crazy.
It is, but I also feel like in my mindset, sometimes, like, if stuff happens in a friendship or a relationship outside of, like, a romantic one, I'll be like, I would never let him do that to me. So I'm not about to, so, like, I compare them sometimes and be like, I don't even let Marty talk to me like that. She damn sure ain't about to talk to me like that. Like, you know, I feel like sometimes you can compare it. But at the same time, it is a different relationship and it is a more intimate relationship. And I'm going to go out of my way a little bit more for him, especially, like, because that's my road dog. Like you said, that's who I sleep next to every night. That's who I've been building with every single day. So he does get more grace than other people would. And he would be like, if he calls me versus, like, you know, I'm a go. Like, this is what I'm gonna make sure everybody's good, but at the same time, you have to understand, like, this is the person that I plan to do life with. But it is a murky water where it's like, when do your friends come first? But I feel like my friends should understand that. Like, you shouldn't be upset that that's the call that I made because you should already know.
And I feel like that is something that a lot of people don't understand until they get that significant other. Like, I've never had that. I just understand.
Okay.
I mean, I've never had it personally, so, you know, I just have an understanding. But it is something that people have to grow into and, like, have to experience for themselves. Like, because, like, it's really a different, like, I just feel like the relationships can be compared, but they can't. Because, like, you and your significant other, like, y'all gotta be here. You don't gotta be here all the time with your friends.
Yeah. And my friends not paying my bills.
Right.
Like, y'all not contributing to me financially. Like, no, I feel like all of that is a factor.
Yeah.
Like, if we get in an argument and he be like, oh, well, this bill ain't getting paid today.
Wait a minute.
Like, I'm not gonna
Let's run it back.
Yeah, like, I'm not about to call you and be like, I need half the rent.
Right.
He was like, he ain't
No.
paying me. Like,
It don't work like
Now
that.
that's coming from the one that's in the relationship.
Exactly. It ain't just
You
that.
heard the differences.
pause real quick. This mic is like all the way down.
Oh,
I didn't even know.
Yeah. It was like gradually
I mean, the
falling.
top is hot, so you can still hear it.
Okay.
but it's
If
like
it ain't
in
moving,
the
though.
thing.
If it's
in
still
the
moving.
camera.
No, it's just in the
Oh, it's in the
Yeah,
camera.
yeah.
Okay. You can move it up. It's no guarantee it'll stay, but.
It's getting good. It's getting good.
See, that's why we
And
pay.
you about to be a whole hour.
Because that's how I was. I used to keep all of my stuff at a minimum, and I did my longest episode was the last one with my friend. It was about an hour. I was like, nobody's gonna listen.
Sometimes we just chop it in two and keep it
Yeah.
going.
That's cute too. The little part 2.
Because it'd be worse to, like, stop the conversation and not get, you know, everything you
Because
want.
people be like,
Right, I got one.
where's the rest? Alright, we good. You can hear. That's fine.
Yes.
Okay. Alright.
I don't know what to say.
Alright.
Oh, but I did want to make a point. I think in situations like that, like the different reactions you get from your friends, that's how you know who's secretly hating on the fact that you have a situation like that that they can't relate to. So that kind of makes it easier on you. Like, women can be catty. I'm not gonna lie. Men, when they get into it, the next day they don't forget what they got into. They could physically fight,
which is
and be fine.
It is.
But with women, it's all the emotions. Now you done went and you done got all these perspectives from all these. You done called your mama, your boyfriend, your other friend. You done got too many opinions now. With men, they keep it, you know, me and you. If me and you got the issue, it's me and you. If it escalates, that's a different story. With women, it's almost always going to escalate. And I'm just like, we could have talked about that.
Yeah.
But I feel like you don't realize, like, all the side comments and the little things people say and, like, the low-key hate that people be having towards you until the falling out. Until you look back and you be like, oh, well, she did say that one time. And that did, like, she gave me a side-eye a couple times. But I think I've only ever had that, God willing, that happened to me one time where I felt like I was in that situation where I was like, this girl hates me for real. I really do feel like that's only happened to me once in life, and I hope that it never happens again, because it sucks. You be like, dang, like we was really rolling together, and
so I thought,
right. It's not a regular falling out. It's be like, girl,
that's true.
You hate me.
Just admit it.
You just hate me. Just say it with your chest. Like, it just make you want people to just be truthful.
And I never understand like why people feel like they want to fake a friendship. Like, why?
But I think it's because people want to be around you and like suck out of you. Like, people really
just want to say they have friends.
Yeah, and they want to say that they're associated with you, and like not even to sound like cocky or bougie, like, but that happens in real life. Like, I've seen it happen to other people. I've had it happen to me, and people just like are friends with you for the benefit of being the friend with you. Like, they just want to experience that. Like, I don't know, because we just talked about this earlier, like dating friends, but I've had people like DM when I go out with my cousins and stuff, and they're like, I want to go out with you so bad. Like, but it's not like you don't want to build a relationship with me.
You just want to go out because that's what you see.
Like, so is that just because you want to be out and like be at a table? Like, what? Why? Why do you want to just you trying to get some table? You trying to get some free shots? Like, you trying to travel? Like, what is it? Because I think that's a little weird. Like, I think that's weird for people to just randomly like try to insert themselves into your life and not have a good reason. Like, you don't even know if I'm a good person.
Right. These my cousins. They got to deal with me.
Right. I could be crazy.
Right.
Okay.
They could have been carrying me to the car after we left the club. You don't know.
Instagram and real life.
Okay.
Two totally different things. Oh,
things.
brother. Yeah, that's deep right there.
I just think that's a lot of energy to like fake a friendship and
It is.
work your way into a situation you don't even know what's going on. Like, oh no.
People be in denial too, I think. And also sometimes I say envy a lot, but envy is such a weird thing for a lot of people. They don't know how to accept the fact that they're envious, because I think it's a subconscious thing. Like, I don't think people go out trying to envy or trying to envy other people, but when you have that situation where you have a friend that's progressing at a more rapid rate than you, or they're doing all the things that y'all talked about, but only they are doing those things, you're not there yet. It's hard to grasp that and to accept that sometimes. So then your mannerisms start to reveal your true feelings, and it's like, well, my heart, like how the head and the heart thing. Well, my heart is telling me that this is my friend and I love her dearly, but my head is telling me, dang, she's making this, she's doing this, she's traveling, she's she's living the life that we dreamed or we built for ourselves. Even with family too, like you'll have situations. That's another topic. That's another topic, y'all. But it can get real quick, and it can get deep. And sometimes you don't want to come to your friend saying, "Hey, like I'm envious right now," or like I'm hating a little bit. It's like, how do you say that to your friend? You know? Yeah. So I think that's another thing with, like, even if they're not intentionally faking the friendship, it's like they want to hold on to it because that's what their heart's telling them to do, but their head got all of these different scenarios running through it.
That's a next level friendship.
That's
like you have mastered friendship. If you could really come to your friend and be like, I would literally be in shock. Like, I'd be like,
do you think you have to, or do you think it's like an internal thing that you just need to work through? Because at the end of the day, it's internal. Like, envy is an internal thing that you got to work through with yourself and get to know yourself and love yourself more, all that. So is it necessary to come to the friend and be like, this is what I'm dealing with right now? Or is it better to just like take a step back and be like, you know, let
Just
me work with
evaluate
this,
the whole
you know,
thing.
with myself, and then once I'm ready to pour out the love and, you know, congratulations and all that.
But I also, in my opinion, there's a difference between jealousy and envy.
Yep.
So jealousy is like that's a natural thing. You're naturally going to be jealous of some friends that you have. They may have like a better job than you. They may be getting paid more. They may be doing things that you're not doing or you wish that you can do. Doesn't mean that, you know, that you gonna go out and just be like, oh my gosh, I hate her. She's doing everything that I want to do. It's a natural feeling. But envy, I feel like that's just like a malicious intent behind it. It's like you're jealous of that person and you just don't want them to succeed at the same time because they're doing everything that you said that you
I'm
want to
using
do.
the wrong daggone word then, because that's how I flip it.
I thought so too. I don't know what
what it actually is. I don't know what Webster say.
I honestly never thought about them being different.
I think that they are different. I think one is definitely
And
malicious,
yeah.
but I don't know.
I could see envy being the more malicious one.
Yeah,
Well, I'm using the wrong word. I meant jealousy. If that's
It's like a strong, it's like a strong feeling that you have like inside of you. Like,
You know, that's
I
right,
really
because
do
Nikki
not-
got that song called Envy.
Okay.
And she was talking, she was talking about, and she said, envy, why you go against me? Yeah.
Into the chat.
Yeah, okay, you know, that's what I'm saying. That's what she said. But back to what you said, Nelly, is I feel like if my actions are starting to affect the way I have treated my friend, and I like have already done my self-reflection, then yes, you do need to sit down and be like, hey girl, like, you know, I've really been doing some reflecting, and I realized that I have been treating you unfairly due to some things that I have been dealing with on the inside. And I think at that point, that's when you need to have that conversation with the friend. But you do have to deal with it internally and accept that and be big enough to say, like, look, I'm having a hard time dealing with your success or your good news or whatever it is that is going on. Because I feel like now people just try to kind of either like make slick comments or they kind of just try.
You know this.
Yeah, or it be in the group chat, like the energy don't match everybody else's. Like everybody else sending gifts and congratulations,
The support.
echo messages.
And then you just get a like.
One person.
You get congrats with an exclamation point. It'd be like it just be the littlest stuff that's be like, I wish everybody else loved this message. Why you like it?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to be different.
And at that point, that was on purpose.
Yeah. See, because I be picking up on stuff like that. I be like, everybody else loved it, but you know,
Everybody else reposted. You hating for real.
Is that okay? Let's talk about that because we didn't even get into the whole Instagram situation.
Social media plays a part in everything.
It plays a part. So, is it required for your friends to repost every picture that you post?
No.
And do you feel some type of way, like, and not even just repost, like engage as a whole? Like, do you feel required to like and comment and share all of your friends' posts? Like, how do y'all?
This is a good question.
Because you might do it subconsciously.
Yeah, I think it's such a subconscious thing. Like, if I see if my friend, like, I'm the friend that I post more avid. I'm a more avid poster than a lot of my other friends. So I know sometimes they're like, oh, this girl again, like, this cute. Let me keep. I'm sorry. Like, this cute. Let me keep it pushing.
I
Like,
know what you're talking about.
she gonna be on my page more than I'm on my page, almost as much as I repost to her. So I definitely have learned to like step out of it and not take it personally, because it is sometimes like when you repost everybody else, that's where I draw the line. Like if I feel like I have two best friends. One of my best friends is rarely ever on social media. She's not a social media girl, but when she is and she catch something, she'll show love. Or if she goes back to see something, she'll text me like, oh, I just saw you live. That was so good. So I know it's never coming from an ill place. My other best friend, now if she was to miss a post, I'd be like, we beefing? You cannot. What's going on? Because she don't miss nothing.
Is there an issue?
So it's not that that's like the determining factor for me to act within itself, but I think when I see some people that claim that they friends, they reposting everybody and their grandmother when it's time for my picture. You don't want me on your story. You don't want me to take some of your little followers. You don't want them to see what I'm working with. So I think like it's a to each his own type of thing. I don't try to read too much into it because sometimes I know for me I be missing stuff. Like sometimes I'll have the stories planned.
The Instagram algorithm.
I didn't even see it for real. It was the ceiling was seeing it.
No,
So.
for real.
Even that Instagram algorithm is crucial. You don't be seeing people's posts. I sometimes don't
3
see stuff
days.
till I see somebody else.
3 days.
Till somebody else put it on their story. Then I
Right.
see it to go look on your page.
Yeah.
But I say that because I was being talked about in a room that I wasn't in, and it got back to me, and one of the people that were talking about me was talking to my friend, and she was like, yeah, she don't ever post you on her story. One, why are you clocking my story? We're not even friends. But two, like, I was just like, is that a determinant? Like, it was never ill intent behind it, but is that a determining factor of our friendship?
Right.
Like, that's social media stuff
is crazy with people, like with us being as though we have brands that are bigger than just us. I remember talking to a lady that has been in the communications industry for a while, and she was like, you gotta fine tune your posts and things like that. Like, I know you love your friends, but you don't have to repost them every day. You don't have to do this and this and every day. Like, you can show your love in other ways. So that was the first time I actually heard that. She was like, that's the same way I am with my friends, and I had to have that conversation. I use my Instagram for different purposes, and I'm trying to learn how to separate the fact that I have my personal, but my professional intertwines with it, because it is a part of my personal now. So you're gonna see Kariatu, Crown Corner, Spoken. You're like, that's what you're gonna see on my story. If I have a day where I'm just like, I just want to shout out all my girls, I will go back to the most recent picture. I don't know if it was a month ago, and like make a reason like Women Crush Wednesday and just post all the other to catch up for lost time. But for us, it's different because we got people watching our stories for other reasons. They don't care about what your friend had on to go to the club last weekend. So it's a little bit different for us too. And I think that we deserve that grace from our, friends that might not be doing what we're doing. Or might not use social media for the same things.
Yeah. I be on social media, but I be posting it. Like, I repost all day. That's what I do. I don't post original content. Like, I really be on there reposting stuff all day. So, I mean, of course I repost on my friends, but I don't overthink nothing. Like, I don't overthink social media specifically. Let me say not nothing, but social media specifically. I don't take nothing to heart, and I don't think about how other people do. So, like, if I am not reposting something, I'm not thinking about how you might feel about it unless you approach me about it. So it's like, sorry if I didn't repost you, or sorry if, something happened that you felt like was attacking you. I ain't think twice about it. Social media is for downtime.
I will say though, for me though, if I'm watching stories and everybody else in the friend group has shared something, I'd be like, dang, I gotta be sharing. I'm like, dang, I can't be the only one. They gonna think I'm upset. Like, I be thinking about it like that, but social media just adds a whole nother level.
I'm not finna just post. Like, if it's something like,
if it's bad
marketing, you will not see bad marketing on my page. Like, I don't care. I'm sorry. You will not see that on my story, on my page, nothing. It's not happening. So, like, sometimes, like, my family will post something. And I'll be like,
okay,
sorry, Janelle's not posting that. And they be like, post it on your feed. My feed.
My feed.
My grid.
Ain't nothing getting posted.
Nothing gets posted there.
I'm sorry. I don't even post my own events on the feed.
Like,
you said what?
My feed.
The feed is sacred.
True.
The feed is sacred.
Yeah, so exclusive. I don't have no feelings. I'm sorry.
You got too much dip on your chip now.
You get a little carried away.
I think I might have put ha on that. like that is like audacity's on sale, child. Yeah, because I cannot, like, I would literally be like, what?
Have you ever seen me do that?
I'm like, yeah.
Like what? Who are you talking?
Like I just be posting all these events or something on my page.
Did you see my page looking like that?
Did you see the last one I posted on my page?
That was 6 months ago.
I don't expect you for real.
No, thank you.
That ain't
Are
right.
you paying me?
Right, is this paid content?
Right.
Like paid partnership?
Partnership. Turn on the partnership tab on the post.
Come on now.
Ooh, that is so funny.
Pay me for post.
Listen.
Cause it's not ever giving that. I be having to get inducted into the White House for me to host the event. Like, I'm just not. You gotta catch it on your story. A graphic.
Catch it in these 24 hours or.
I don't know. I might slip it in between some selfies, but but it's not about to stand alone.
You won't make it to the actual grid. You have to
Especially if
slide.
you got funky colors, child.
Oh, and it don't fit.
Yeah, it just don't fit. It just like the
we look
eyeball.
at social media differently because other people, that
Yeah.
shit is a rainbow,
Yeah.
a
for
checkerboard. going on.
Yeah, no. We're not gonna get into that. We be out here analyze. All right, we doing social media. All right, tag us on your page if you want us to look at your social media.
That's a new bag.
Right. Anywho, the moral of today's episode. What is y'all big one thing y'all want people to take away from this episode, or one thing you took away from this episode that we're gonna leave the people with before we wrap up?
I'll let Kariatu go first.
We said a lot and it was so good. I'm gonna do what I learned. Okay, so one thing that I learned or that I am taking away is dating your friends. Dating the friends you already have, and then also not being afraid to kind of, like test the waters with new people as long as you feel like the energy is, good enough, and then allowing, that room for vulnerability.
Yes, friend dates are important.
They are. I have best friend dates every month.
I have you on base myself more than I be on base with my friends. That's like must be nice.
I will say though that me and my cousins do something every month, and that has really grown our relationship, and it's such an amazing thing to do. Now I will say we plan these jumps a month in advance.
Oh,
so when we sit down in October, we're like, okay, this is our November date, because people get busy, and it's really hard to get on one accord, especially it's four of us. We're a group of four, so trying to coordinate four schedules is a lot. But no, it definitely, I 10 out of 10 recommend doing friend dates and consistent.
Yeah, it's the consistent part that I'm missing, because I go on a date, but they be like, it won't be once a month, once every couple of months.
And you're like, we gotta do this more, and then you don't do it right. You gotta be strict about it.
Somebody else go, I don't know.
I would say what I said earlier, don't have too high expectations for your friends. Give your friends some grace, especially on the minor things. If they don't show up to, a drink event or something, or if they just not in the right capacity or mental capacity to really talk or engage, give them some grace. Let them know that you're still there as a friend. Let them know that you still love them, you still support them, but having those high expectations will let you know every time, and you just won't have no friends if that's the case. No, for real.
No.
This is true.
Yeah. I think for me, my biggest takeaway is finding peace with people going their separate ways. It's okay. You don't have to beat yourself up. It doesn't have to be anyone's fault. It's just something that happens naturally, and people have different life paths, and if they don't align, you can still love somebody from a distance.
That's good.
Yeah, all the time.
I don't know. I guess just off our recent, just don't overthink stuff. Within a friendship, it may not be all that you putting into it sometimes.
Don't do a think piece on your friend.
Yeah, that's your friend.
Overanalyzing.
Yeah, don't
Sometimes all it
overanalyze.
requires is a quick little conversation.
Exactly.
You be looking for something.
They do. They be going through the messages.
Because you put punctuation right there, and you don't usually put, that was 3 weeks ago.
We really enjoyed having you here, Kariatu. Please tell the people how they can reach you, how they can connect with you, all the apps, websites, etc., etc. Let the people know.
I think the easiest way is to just go onto the nice little personal page. So my name is spelled Kariatu.J, and then in my bio you'll find my babies. And don't be scared to reach out. We might be friends one day.
Yeah. Ask her for a date, and she gonna be a friend.
Come on for drinks.
Well, with that said, season 4, episode 2 is a wrap. Bye.
See y'all.